Hi guys, I'm here with Astro, and today I'm going to walk you through a few basics on how to introduce a dog to a treadmill. All right, so Astro is with us from Vegas actually, and so he had a long car ride on the way here, and it's very windy out today. So instead of walking him outside where it's really windy and a little unsafe, we have the luxury of using a treadmill indoors. So this may benefit somebody that has a very busy work schedule, physically can't walk their dog that much, or if you live someplace really cold, the wintertime can really hinder people's walks. So the treadmill is a great tool to use. It certainly doesn't replace the walk, but it can definitely enhance everything. So the first thing you want to do is let your dog sniff this. Let them get familiar with what this new tool is. Here, buddy, good job. So he is familiar with the treadmill, so I'm just gonna guide him on. Good job, buddy. And if you have a dog that is really struggling with just getting on the treadmill, maybe this is as far as you go for the time being. Letting them just get comfortable standing on it, and then, good boy, inviting them off, right? Good job. And you can repeat that. Let's go. Good. Once they feel good and comfortable, go ahead and start the treadmill. Now this treadmill is a little small for Astro, but it will do the trick. Some things to consider once you've got your dog on the treadmill: make sure you're aware of where the leash is and how tight it is. We use a slip lead and we keep it right up around the back of the ears, right here, high up on the neck. And we want to make sure that it's not getting tangled with a collar or anything else. We also want to make sure that the knot is secure, so that if this falls down or something spooks them, they don't just jump off the treadmill. Now, once they're on the treadmill and they're feeling good, it's always important that you keep a close eye on them because a lot can go wrong very quickly. So this isn't something that you want to put your dog on and then leave the room. You do want to be able to have eyes on them for safety reasons. So you can use the treadmill in many different ways. For Astro, he's been on the treadmill actually a little bit this morning, so we're keeping him at a slow speed and a low incline. But for dogs that have a lot of energy, especially your working breeds, shepherds, huskies, all your power breeds, they're going to need that explosion. So you can start them slow, work them up to a higher speed. You can also decrease the speed, increase the incline, and then lower everything down so that you always finish with sort of like a cool down, how a human would start a run. So we want to warm up. We want to hit our peak, and then we want to bring it back down. And we always want to finish nice and slow so that their mind can start to unwind too. We don't want to keep them at a high speed and keep their minds also at a high frequency and a high speed. We want everything to slow down and bring that energy right down. Okay, so if you have a dog that is really struggling with just being around the treadmill, or even getting up on the treadmill, what you can do is just start to walk them over it. Good. Now this is a little small, but if we had a longer treadmill, you could kind of use it as like an obstacle course. Have them get a couple paws up. Good. Good. Right, just get them comfortable with that, and then maybe ask them to stay a little bit longer. Good job, buddy. And now is a good time to share some affection. If you like to use treats, it's a good time to reward them with some treats. Good boy. Invite him off. If that is more than what your dog is capable of handling, all good. We're going to slow things down and just start with having them feel good around it. That's it. You could use food here. You could put the food bowl right here so that they can eat on the treadmill. So once they start to feel good and familiar with the treadmill, you can turn it on, introduce the sound, let them get comfortable with the noise. This one's very quiet. This is specific for dogs. It folds right up. It's really small, and we love it. All right, now let's say you get your dog on the treadmill and you start it and they keep running off either the front or they start to run off the side and you're having difficulty keeping them on. One thing you can do is block them. So if we're starting to feel good on the treadmill, but the second we turned it on, he tried to get off, what we can do is use something like a stool to block this exit. And now he knows, okay, I can't go forward off the treadmill. If he tries to go off the side, we can move it to the side. You can use anything, a chair, a raised dog bed, the stool, a box, literally anything to just block them visually from that exit. So we don't have to block Astro from moving off of a treadmill, but if your dog does try to keep moving off of the treadmill, it's a really good tip and technique to try. And that might be the only thing they need to get them through working through that anxiety about being on the treadmill. Then once they start to feel good on the treadmill, you can remove the blocks and be more of a coach to them and coach them on. Good boy, Astro. Yeah, good boy, buddy. Good job. Good job. Now, a great time to finish the treadmill exercise is when their body is centered on the treadmill. They're not looking for a mode of exit or trying to escape. Their head is straight, their mouth is open, they feel good. Great time to just shut it all down. Give them a moment to process everything that just happened. And you can do this in increments, just as you would for yourself, training for a race or any new exercise that you're learning. We start slow, we start small, we listen to our bodies and do what's best for us. So everything that we just discussed, you can always backtrack and just start very, very small and work slowly up to actually running your dog on the treadmill. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Yes. And the result is a very happy, physically fulfilled, but also mentally fulfilled dog. All right, guys, that's how we introduce dogs to the treadmill. There are many nuances and things that we didn't cover, so if you run into anything and you have any questions or concerns, please drop them in the comments below. We're here to help.